Hey guys, it's the Loud Guys. Today we are going to watch 6 happily surprising things about living in America. So, of course, we have seen a lot of videos where people are like, geography is very different, America's things are very different, and the thing is, even we have seen a video about like don'ts of Texas and don'ts of this and that, but we have also seen like people are very, very nice and very, very friendly and very like talkative to new people. So that is very nice thing, because if that happens, that makes sure that new people are coming to you, talking to you, and it just helps you in getting into that vibe. So I think so this man might be from some other country, and he might have come to live in America, and he's like, these are happily surprising things about living in America. And as far as an Indian is concerned, of course, we always look up to living in America, like how good it is and how nice it is. Okay, there are some bad things, I think so, that is in each and every country, but yes, it is mostly good for us. But we'll see like what a person living in America thinks about it and what are his opinions about.
And in the previous video, we got to know about that you Americans are very friendly. You guys are very talkative. And if we talk about us Indians, so it's not very common in India that like if we talk about America, that it is very common that you can talk to strangers. If you are roaming in the streets, you can talk to someone, like you can say hi or hello and what's going on, something like that. But you cannot do such kinds of thing in India. And if you're gonna do such kinds of thing in India, then definitely you are crazy, because in India everybody just do their business. But sometimes what happened that if travel in the metro or in the buses, then it's not like that people won't talk to you. It's like that people gonna talk to you. But if you are roaming in the streets, then definitely not. If they don't know you, then they not gonna talk to you. And we also got to know in the previous video that you Americans are sweet tooth. And I do think that we Indians, not that much Indians are not sweet tooth. They do love to eat savory, or we can say chili, something spicy food. But we got to know that you Americans are a sweet tooth. And I can say that I do love America so much, because I can relate a lot of things from you people, because I don't know why, but I can relate a lot of things from you. So that's the reason I do love America so much. So yeah, I'm so much excited to watch this video and so much excited to know 6 happily surprising thing about living in America. So yeah, let's watch the video.
It will be very interesting to know. So let's see what is there in this video.
Happily surprising things about living in the United States.
Litter free.
I suppose sometimes, it's the little things in life, or should I say, the litter things in life that please people. And, growing up in a country that is a wasteland, quite frankly. I'm joking, Britain's not that bad.
No, not that
but
bad.
We do have a tendency just to, throw litter around. And sometimes now, I've been hearing, back in Britain, since I've left, we've had this problem with fly tipping. And that's where, people are dumping their trash. But even
in Britain?
minus that, I just got this general sense that Britain was just a bit more littery than America. In America, everywhere's super clean. That's one of the great things about it. You can enjoy the oxygen around you, knowing that it hasn't touched a chewing gum wrapper. This is usually the case, and I'm taking the examples of the places I've lived. This is about 4 different cities at this point, and in each and every one of them, you have very green, very well-kept gardens, very clear sidewalks, although in some cases that could be because nobody used them. But it's really refreshing to go to the beach here in Chicago and not find discarded chippy wrappers or crushed Coca-Cola cans or used condoms. Americans on the whole are just better about not littering, and I know that sounds like a generalization of the wild variety, and it makes me sound like a crotchety old man telling people to get off his yard, but at least my yard is clean. I mean, most in Britain are, to be fair. It's mostly the streets, and I should know, I grew up on the mean streets of Grimsby. It was actually a nice area, but sometimes the streets would still be littered with caviar containers.
So like, as Indians, we would not like to talk about litter, because in India there is a lot of litter and people have a habit of littering a lot in India. Like, they throw places all around. I am tired of telling a lot of people like, don't do it. And those people, when they go to like foreign country, like if they come to America, they will not litter. But when they are in India, they will surely litter. I don't know what is that mindset. Why don't you make your home more clean? That should be the case with everyone in India, but I don't know why it is not.
And when they visit to like foreign countries, after that, when they come back to the India, then they talk like that. Our country is not at all clean. Our country, why our country people are like this, something like that. So that thing is so very I don't get it why these people are like this, and that thing is also not. I do think that something is very serious with such kind of people. Like if this thing is your habit, then okay, I know it is difficult for you. If you are cleaning, if you are not putting garbage everywhere in the other country, then why you are doing such kinds of activity in your home country? Like, so that thing is very weird for me.
This one was hugely surprising, especially as a fan of football, or as they say in the rest of the English-speaking world, soccer, because, I'd always sort of understood America to not be truly interested in soccer or football. And in many respects, this is still true, at least, when things are normal and sport is still happening. America still prioritizes NFL, basketball, hockey, and what's the other one, baseball, above all other sports. And so it was just really surprising to this fresh-faced Brit who came equipped with a soccer ball to find that there were soccer fields aplenty. They were everywhere, even in Anderson, Indiana, right, which is the place that I've lived that had the lowest population. But off the top of my head, I can already think of about 5 soccer fields in that city alone. They're very, very widespread, at least in the eastern portion of the United States. I can't speak for the sort of the plains and the Rockies, because can you imagine having soccer fields high up in the mountains? It might happen. If you live in those areas, let me know in the comments below. But I think one of the chief reasons that there are just so many of them is that they're very popular with school-age people. And of course, it is one of the most popular sports in the United States played by women. You've just got to look at the overwhelming success of the US women's national team, who won at this point about 2.5 million World Cups. England, of course, still waiting on theirs. And speaking of waiting, that brings us on to this.
Free public toilet.
America is known as the land of the free, and I always thought that was quite weird because, I always considered Britain to be quite free, as in we had freedoms, but then I started to think, well, maybe it comes down to the little things, right? Something I noticed, of course, and I've talked about on this channel, is you can get free refills in any kind of restaurant on your sodas. And the same is true of entering public toilets, except you don't drink the contents. Let's be clear about that. What I'm saying is, in Britain, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, public toilets will charge you an entry fee in order to use it. And I can understand why they do this, it's partly for the upkeep of said public toilets, but it's a big problem when you really need to go. Nobody wants to find themselves in a race to find their change versus a race to change their knickers. In America, though I'm sure there are some quirky exceptions somewhere, you never have to worry about that. You just have to worry that people can see you through the crack.
Window screen.
I feel like I've mentioned window screens a lot in my videos, but not really in the context of how they've brought me a lot of joy. And that might sound really strange, right? But in England, we never had them. And we also never had air conditioning. So you find yourself in this strange situation, particularly on a warm summer's day, of having to open the window just to get some fresh air in. But of course, with that comes some other things. Things like, mosquitoes, which, to be fair, in Britain aren't anywhere near as bad as they are in the American Midwest. Or Big Daddy Longlegs, or, bees. Bees can get in the house, and who wants that? Now, bees and wasps and things like that are probably the most dangerous things that might get into your house in Britain. So it's not really a huge concern, but it can be an irritation. And it's an irritation that's largely alleviated in the United States by the existence of these window screens. I'm not saying that insects don't get in at all. I mean, I've seen enough ant colonizations in my kitchen to know that that's not true. But I do not remember the last time I encountered a wasp, a bee, or a mosquito inside my apartment. It just doesn't really happen. But the big revelation that is window screens doesn't just stop bugs from getting in, it also stops a certain somebody from getting out, and I'm not talking about my wife. She uses the door. Now in Britain, people might be a little less concerned about this because, there's more of an outdoor cat culture there. But my cat, much like the cats of many people in the United States, is very decidedly an indoor cat. And if I want to open the window, as I did today, right, there are occasions during spring and autumn when, it's not hot enough for the air conditioning unit and it's not cold enough for the heating, you want to crack a window open, right? And if that were the case in Britain, on a lower floor or even the second floor, your cat's gone. And to me, that would be bad because, recently I did have a dream that we lost him in the beach. And I know that curiosity isn't going to kill my cat, but a Prius would. Window screens save lives. Now, once we get the all clear to start en masse leaving our apartments, whether that is by the door or the window, then there's one aspect of America I will never take for granted again, and it's this.
It's National
Don't get me wrong.
parks. Yeah, I've
we've
heard
got
a
a
lot
fantastic
about
national
it.
park system in the United Kingdom, and one, I wished I'd experienced more while I lived there. And the same thing is happening right now as I live in America. I feel like I haven't seen enough of the national parks, or even sort of state parks or state forests and things of that nature. Now, I have experienced one or two, Muir Woods near San Francisco, but I want to see the big ones. I've sold out at this point. I want to do Yellowstone National Park. I want to do Yosemite. I want to do Badlands. All of them basically in a week. Can we make that happen?
No,
Why not?
because combined they're larger than Britain.
Right. The national park system is amazing, protecting some of the most unbelievable natural settings I've ever experienced or will experience, because, I want to enter the Grand Canyon. That's not a euphemism. So I've already said to the wife, when we get out of this, we're cancelling the Paris trip, even though she's always wanted to do it, so it's a little harsh. We're just going to go out west, pack up our tents and grow mustaches like Teddy Roosevelt. That's me, not the wife. Now, those of you that are new to this channel might not know that I used to do travel videos back in the day. And today, at the top of Ensign Peak, a wasp stung me. But then that, combined with having to work a day job, just got a little challenging. So I put it on hold, but I think now that I'm YouTubing full time, I might start it up again. I don't mean tomorrow, I mean when we've got the all clearance to go and do this sort of thing.
The people.
This one might be the biggest one of all, hence why I saved it to last, because after all, what is a country without its people?
Yeah.
In America's case, it's one big land of unregulated national parks. And I think this one is on the mind because, well, I haven't seen any people except the 1.5 that I live with. And the good thing, I think, that was surprising anyway about Americans and American people is just how nice most of you are.
No.
If you're not talking about politics or religion or PB&J sandwiches, of course there are wild exceptions, and I do mean wild, in any country, and I've certainly seen them here on occasion too, but they are the exception that proves the rule. Unlikely as it seems, I just have to look at the comment section beneath my videos. I know, sounds like a mistake, never do that, but mostly it's Americans who comment, and for the most part,
Yes, they're
all
very
nice.
good,
You're all
yeah.
really nice, right? Most of you. I mean, I ignore the ones that aren't. I have a motto: focus on the flowers, not the weeds. And maybe this is a bad example. A good example would be in real life. Americans are very welcoming, sometimes too welcoming. I've been invited to ranches by people I've never met. It's weird, but it happens. And I think it's just sort of bred into people to be hospitable. There's a lot of hospitality.
Nice.
You often hear of Hoosier hospitality, where I lived in Indiana. You hear of Southern hospitality, an appreciation for other people that goes missing on Twitter, but for the most part, you don't have those kind of interactions in real life, or at least that's been my experience of it. The interactions you have, I think, are mostly very nice. I think of going into shops, I think of going into restaurants, and I know that it's part of their job to treat the customer well. It can be split into two camps. Either you get that really sort of over-the-top cheeriness because they want a higher tip, or it feels very genuine, specifically when you're in a shop and you just strike up a conversation with somebody. It's much easier to do, I think, than perhaps in Britain. We're a little more guarded, I think, about certain things like that.
Yeah.
Wild generalization again, and of course, I'm not saying that Americans are better than British people, but I think it's worth mentioning because if you're coming here and you expect everybody to fall into sort of one of 5 categories, right?
No.
Either a seedy boss type from an 80s Wall Street movie, a stoner kid, a surfer dude, they're one and the same. All of the characters from Friends, or Norman Bates from Psycho, then you're going to be disappointed or happily surprised, as I was.
This video showed us a lot of things, and the last point I can literally agree to it, because yes, I can also see my comment section and people are so good. Like I know, remember that I opened a new channel, that TheLoudGuys Movies, and also like people were commenting under it like, okay, like we are doing this for the algorithm. So like people do help you out and do talk to you a lot, and like they are very happy to share, and like all you guys have been very happy to share, like, okay, this is what it is about. Like there are many things where we do not understand, like what is this in this video, or either the accent, or it could be like the information about it, but then people are very, very happy to make you understand, make you live with it. And this is the thing that I can say that I have experienced also. I have not experienced it in the real life, but I have also have to say that at one point, the thing is, like if you go on Twitter and if you go on all these things or on media channels, then you see not a very good image of America. Normally what it is shown is like, okay, there is always some fighting going on or something related to things going on, and people are either angry with this person or that person, but this and that. But when you see people who are living in America, they say that okay, we have one of those like we meet those people and those people are very very fun to live with. So I think so some things are not coming out properly out of America, and I think so the other things are getting like are having a cloud over everything. And also the other thing that he mentioned were very relatable. Like I think so somewhere I would say like Britain and India are somewhat relatable. I think so there a conquer of about 200 years on India had some impact on them also, because littering is our part, and then having those I think that in that part we are similar to America, like having those window shields. We too have window shields. And also like if you talk about people being humble or people being guarded or not, then you can say like people living in villages in India are very very humble and very hospitable. They will come to you, they'll talk to you, they'll make you sit in their homes, and they're very very hospitable. But people in cities and in towns are like much more guarded. They will like, they have a boundary around it, and they will try to like, okay, if you want to talk then they'll talk, but then they'll not be like forcefully talking to you. So this is the difference in like India, America and Britain.
And I'm totally agree with Parvim. As Parvim said that you can find the hospitality in Indian villages or in the small town of the small Indian town, but it's not same here. Like you cannot you will not find hospitality in many houses in cities, because here people just want to live their life in their own terms. They don't want any guest or something like that. If they want guests, so they just want their close guests, like their mother, father, something like that. Otherwise they don't want any guests. And I also like once I watched Priyanka Chopra interview, and she said that American people sport you so much when you accomplish good things in your life. Then American people sport you. They said that you are doing good in your life. And if we talk about Indians, so mostly Indians do get jealous because of the development of the other people. And sometimes you can find such kinds of thing even in the friendship. If your friends is doing good, then they then other person get jealous because of their development. And you will not find such kind of thing. You will not find jealousy in the American. It's not like that you will every people are same. I know that different people in different nation people in the nation are very different. It's not like that every people are every people are same. But if we talk about the if we talk about the maximum people, so if we talk about the people, so maximum people are good in America. And there were a lot of parts which I related so much from America, because we Indians are also like that. And in India we talk about toilets. So male toilets, public male toilets are free, but we have to pay for using the female toilets in India. If you are using the public female toilet, then you have to pay for it, but it's not like for the male toilets. So yeah, this video was so informative for us, and yeah, I really enjoyed the video.
I would say like you have to pay only pennies, and the thing is like the one in there are two kind of toilets. There are ones that are free also, but those are not worth going. If you go in there, it is near to hell. And the ones that are paid are mainly maintained by those people. That is why they are asking for money. So I think so that is a good way to maintain it. So what do you guys think about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share and
Subscribe.
bye.